Bon dia, Carl Munson here from expatsportugal.com with the Good Morning Portugal show. So Good Morning Portugal! And I have to say, as you can see behind me, I've gone au naturel. And I do feel a little bit naked and exposed here without my green screen. This is odd, isn't it? Some people will be watching the screen and thinking, hold on a minute, what's going on here? He doesn't have his Barcelo cockerel with him. So definitely I feel a little bit underrepresented. And we're in the middle of a bit of a transition in the studio. And I'm having to use Mrs. M's backdrop with all kinds of books, I think, about astrology and NLP and stuff like that. And goodness knows what else that will be discovered behind me as people scrutinize that. But anyway, we can create a wonderful distraction on the screen for you because, of course, it is Feelgood Filomena Friday this morning. And here she is from Miranda de Corvo. How are you?
Bom dia, alegria.
Bom dia, alegria. And as I said, it is, of course... Oh, I'm not sure if you'll have heard that loud enough, but there's Owen singing Filomena Friday. And this has been, of course, the problem this morning. A few technical difficulties. Let me try that again.
Filomena Friday.
That's better, isn't it? Loud and clear. Filomena Friday. So,
Thank you, Owen.
Filomena, it's looking a lot brighter in your part of Portugal.
Yeah, it's a little bright. A lot of sun,
Yes. Quite amazing. So a few things to discuss today. You are going to be talking about Festa season. I mean, I guess it's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, because June is the month of festas, festas populares, we say in Portuguese. The festivities of the people.
Okay, festivities of the people. And it started, did it start yesterday or has it already been going on? Because we had Portugal Day, and belated happy Portugal Day to you, Filomena.
Yeah, thank you. Obrigada. Igualmente. Yes, yesterday was Dia de Portugal, de Camões e das comunidades portuguesas.
Okay. Yes, and we had a little tribute to Luís Camões last night. What an amazing, when you start to look at his poetry, he's an extraordinary fellow, and you can understand why, of course, the Portugal Day is synonymous with him. And he's, I mean, if I may make a kind of, I know comparisons can be difficult, but he's like the Shakespeare, really, of
yes.
Portugal.
He's our Shakespeare, yes.
Yeah, to put that into context and perspective for people. Also, before we get started, a little bit of a sad week for you. And this show is dedicated to your cousin Carlos, who sadly passed away.
Yes.
And so we dedicate the show. Could you tell us a little bit about Carlos? He looks like an amazing fellow, and you're obviously very proud of him.
Yes, Carlos was a very close cousin. We grew together, let's say. And so he was very... a person full of joy and enthusiasm for life. He was always speaking to everybody. Everybody knew him in town, so he was quite a popular person, and everybody liked him. He was amazing.
Oh, yeah. Incredible. So farewell and rest in peace, lovely cousin Carlos there, who was obviously a very important part of life in Miranda de Corvo.
Yeah.
The show is dedicated to him today. Oh, yeah. And so I guess maybe what he would have wanted is for people to enjoy themselves in June and face the Festa season with a full heart.
Yes, he would. I mean, he was always, actually, both of us were responsible for organizing lots of festivities for the family. We used to organize gatherings of about 40 people, 50 people together from our family in the summer because we like to, being with the family. And so that's why we used to organize that every year. And so now it's going to be a bit different.
Of course it is. Yeah, absolutely. Always very difficult. But I'm imagining people in Miranda de Corvo will have very fond memories of the man.
Yes,
and he'll live in their hearts.
And he also liked football a lot, like myself. We both are big fans of football, so we went to the stadium together, and we were really good friends.
Oh, amazing. Okay, and of course, let's not give the game away. Pardon the pun, but Filomena is wearing a CR7 T-shirt. Let that be a test for the what Americans call soccer fans. Do you know? Can you decipher what is a CR7 T-shirt?
It's to do with football.
And why is it important right now? So we'll leave that hanging there.
Yes. Why is it important? Well, it's important for several reasons. Also for my cousin, and also, for yesterday's day, Dia de Portugal. So it has everything to do with that.
Okay, so for the American viewers, who I think will struggle most with that, who is CR7? Bon dia alegria from Antonio.
I can give a little cue. I have bought this T-shirt in the island of Madeira.
Oh, that's even better. I'm going to give a slightly odd clue now. Hello, is it me you're looking for? So, Antonio off saying and bon dia alegria this morning. Actually, I've got to say as well, your headset is working marvelously. You do look like a soccer commentator this morning, and it's improved our communication sound quality no end. So thanks for doing that, Filomena. Good morning, Carl, from Dr. Ihab Rashid this morning, Rashid. And boom dia, everybody from Jim White, who corrects that a bit later on. Bon dia from Stephen Wells. Good morning to you. And Elra, Linda, bon dia todos. And Gary saying, my condolences to you and your family on the loss of your cousin, but have been loved and cared for by people. I'm sure he enjoyed his life, like you people. I'm sure he enjoyed his life. Big love to you all.
Obrigada.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that, Gary.
And by the way, if I'm sorry to interrupt you, but by the way, and starting with some Portuguese lessons, because also some of my foreigner friends wanted to say exactly that. And in Portuguese, sometimes, some of them made a little mistake because they didn't choose the right words in Portuguese. And so we can also speak a little about what you should say in Portuguese in a situation like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because
you don't want to be getting that wrong, do you?
Yeah. So even a few days ago, you had a show to speak about death, and it's part of life. I mean, we have to face it, right? So, for example, in Portugal, when someone dies and you want to say you are sorry to the family or friends, the sentence to say, the phrase is "os meus sentimentos." Which is literally my feelings. And you can also say as minhas condolências, my condolences, so as minhas condolências, or even os meus pêsames. Yes. So, but the easiest, maybe it would be os meus sentimentos, or as minhas condolências. Some people have told me desculpe, because they have translated I'm sorry, but that is not appropriate in this occasion, because if you say desculpe, you are apologizing, so you are saying excuse me, pardon me. So when you say desculpe, it's because either because you want to call attention, as we have already seen previously in other shows. You can say desculpe at the cafe to call attention, or you can say desculpe to if you are guilty for something, if you have done something wrong and you want to say I'm sorry. So that is desculpe, but not in this occasion. So in this occasion, as I said, you should say os meus sentimentos, as minhas condolências, or os meus pêsames. Or you could say lamento for the I'm sorry part, but usually it's not very common to say that. It's more common to say os meus sentimentos. Okay? And by the way...
yes, of course. Because it's almost like saying your fault.
Sorry, I didn't hear you now.
I think we got a little bit of a time lag, but it's almost, if you say sorry as in desculpa, it's almost like saying it's your fault.
Yes. So you shouldn't say that when you just want to say I'm sorry for you. No, so it's not the right sentence. And also for people who are not aware of how things are in Portugal, because compared to England or to Britain, things are much quicker when it comes to a funeral. So, for example, my cousin passed away on Monday. The funeral was on Tuesday.
Wow.
And we have put his ashes in the graveyard on Wednesday. So, from Monday to Wednesday, everything has been taken care of. And that is the usual in Portugal. When someone dies, then the funeral is usually the next day.
Wow, that's amazing, isn't it? And something to be aware of if you're in a new culture. And if that unfortunate situation arises for you in the new culture, it's a difficult time to do anything, but you need to be aware of that, and that would be a very big culture change.
Yeah, but also because, and I've had some experiences with foreign people who had this situation here, and people sometimes they don't know what to do first. Well, the first thing is to contact an agency, agência funerária, so a funeral agency, and they take care of everything. So you don't go and register the death anywhere. You just contact the agent, and the agent will take care of every detail for you. So it's not your responsibility, let's say, but it's the agent's responsibility to take care of every paperwork is done by him or her.
Yes, extraordinary. Okay, so worth noting, and of course, if you need to reach out to Filomena in this situation, which I'm sure you'd be happy to help people.
Yeah, I have already done it. Yeah.
You're so much more than a language teacher. You teach us about language and culture, and obviously this is a part of the culture, a culture shift. I see your comment there, Max. And to get in touch with Filomena, who can help you, trips for Brits, number 4, trips4brits @gmail.com. Okay, thank you for that. That's very important.
I think it's important for people to know, because if they are in a country, they are not used to the culture and they don't know what to do. And in a situation like that, I mean, the situation itself is so bad in itself, and then you don't know what to do. You are completely lost, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a terrible time, and then to have added stress then is not good. So you want to be minimizing that if possible. Thank you, Filomena. This is Feel Good Friday, but this, as you say, this is part of life, isn't it? Of course, and we struggle with this.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, it's the worst thing, of course. And as Woody Allen once said, "I'm not afraid of death. I just don't want to be there when it happens." And I guess that's how a lot of us might feel about it. Wayne Barker, hello, Wayne. Where have you been? Hola todos. Been a UK nomad for the last few weeks. What's it like over there at the moment, Wayne? Landed at my niece's farm with Wi-Fi, so can finally catch up. Well, that's good. They've still got Wi-Fi in the UK. Despite all the challenges. CR7, the only place to stay in Madeira is Reeds. I think Max is a little bit.
I didn't say that I stayed here. I didn't say that, right?
So that's part of his sort of franchise and branding, isn't it? That CR7, who's the mystery will be revealed. Of course, I think most people know this. He does, but
it's not a place to stay. No.
But it's a place to eat in Lisbon, right? There's a CR7 restaurant.
Well, yeah, okay, but I mean the origin of that CR7, we'll have to find out.
That's right. Any accommodation, places to eat are an extension of the brand, and not the
because it can also be a place to stay. I mean, but I want the why the C, why the R, why the 7.
Indeed. First quiz of the day. Muito obrigado, Filomena. Sorry about your cousin, and bem-haja for a wonderful 3 days, says Peter Bleach, who's with us this morning.
Yeah, I went to Fundão last week, and we have spent a few days together. Thank you, Peter. We have spent some fantastic time there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look. That's
yeah. Yes.
Sorry to obscure you for a moment, but a bit cherry picking. I mean, that's what you can do when you go to Fundão, right? You got to pick cherries.
Yes, if you go to Fundão, you should pick cherries. Yes, and that's me picking cherries and my husband.
Fantastic. Sorry, your husband's name is?
Paulo.
Paolo there. So Paolo Filomena, he says you're a really good cherry picker, and I guess
we picked a lot of cherries.
presumably, were you with the Marshes there?
Sorry.
Were you with the Marsh family? Is that the Marsh estate cerejas there?
No, I mean they in the village of Alcongoste near Fundão. There is usually a festivity which would be this weekend, but with the pandemic now there is no festivity. But yes, usually it's around the day of Portugal, so around the 10th, and it's always on the at that weekend. So it would be now. The festivity would be happening now if it wasn't for the pandemic. But it's in Fundão and in the village of Alcongosta, the capital of the cherry.
Amazing. And all over Portugal at the moment, in the lay-bys, you can buy boxes of cherries, can't you, for €5, I think. A great time of year. In many ways, I guess the cherry is the herald of the oncoming fruit season, I think it's safe to say, isn't it?
Yes, and the cherry trees are so lovely, even when they are full of flower, you know, and they are always lovely to watch. And you can also watch in the spring at the beginning. At the beginning of the spring, you can go and visit the cherry trees.
Yeah, incredible. And Elra is missing the cerejas de Fundão. I missed those. Says Elra there. And just another picture. There you are. I think in that part of the country again. Have you got? I mean, a lot of Portuguese families have a lot of property all over Portugal. Have you got a castle as well, Filomena? Is that your building there?
No, because we have visited a few historical villages around Fundão in the area. We have visited Belmonte, Sortelha. We have visited Castelo Novo, Monsanto. So lots of beautiful villages, and well, you have to climb a little bit, but it's worth it's worth climbing.
All right, and then there's this thing. We've actually got a video of this that Pete sent us.
That is Covão dos Conchos. Covão dos Conchos in Serra da Estrela. So that is near Lagoa Comprida. So and the Serra da Estrela is the highest mountain in the mainland. In Pico, in the Azores, we have the highest mountain of Portugal, but this is the highest in the mainland. So it's 1,991 meters high, and that is at about 1,600 meters high, more or less, 1,600, 1,500, more or less.
And you went to see this on your sightseeing tour. Now we've got a video of this because from that picture, I mean, it could be just
Peter has recorded, yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to play that in a minute because we've just got this tiny. It could be tiny, couldn't it? But I'm suspecting that's quite a big sinkhole that we've got there.
Yeah, that was built in the 50s. Yeah. That was built in the 50s to link this little lagoon with the biggest lagoon, Lagoa Comprida, Long Lagoon. So it is 1.5 kilometers long to link this lagoon to the other lagoon.
All right, so let's have it's only 1:40, and you can give us a commentary if you wish, but I'm going to make it bigger on the screen, and we're gonna watch this now. If I can make this happen. There we go. To give you a sense of scale, right? I think David Attenborough is coming up now. Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Awesome hole. Well worth a walk. It's cool. Absolutely beautiful.
We were quite tired because we had to walk for 5 kilometers to get there.
Oh, wow.
So we walked for about an hour and a quarter or so to get there in the middle of the mountain. So It's not easy, but it's worthwhile. So we walked 10 kilometers to watch that. 5 to go, 5 to come back to Lagoa Comprida.
Wow, it's incredible. How big is that, Filomena?
Oh, it's quite big. I would say maybe 5 meters wide or so.
Really? So it's not a little water feature in a pond. This is a huge thing, and
Yeah.
an amazing feat of aquatic engineering, really.
Yeah,
Right.
the little hole in the middle, it's probably about 1 meter wide, and then the rest about 5, I think.
And presumably, when the water level gets up very high, you get a vortex spinning around in there as the water disappears from one area to another.
Yeah, it's supposed to take the water to the big lagoon. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, thank you so much, Pete, for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, incredible. Sorry, can you say its name one more time?
Covão dos Conchos. Covão dos Conchos.
So that means shell, does it? The shell shape, conchos?
Conchos, yeah. I'm going to write for you, maybe.
That'd be really good. I think that's going to be going on people's lists, I think, to visit that incredible feature there. And what else do you say when you get to a site like that? But awesome hole. Well said, Pete. Yes, he was a bit stuck for words, but he managed to utter that. Let's see what people are saying while you're popping that in the comments there. Bon dia, alegria, from a Grey Hampshire this morning. Can Portugal retain the trophy? A little bit of a clue. And I think yes, here we go. It has been answered. It's Cristiano Ronaldo from Madeira, and Dr. Ihab Rashid visited the island there. And was the statue there? What did you think of that statue, Filomena, when it was first revealed?
I don't like it very much. I mean, it's. I think he's a lot better than that. But yeah, but okay, it's it's a tribute to him.
It's
so yes,
sure. And that's what I was thinking is, hello, is it me you're looking for? Because it was a lot like the statue or the bust that was made for Lionel Richie in that video as well. That looked like it was made from plasticine. Pete says also, okay, so it's all about the Portuguese and the Portuguese culture today. Filomena pode dizer ao Paulo que nosso sistema solar, a besta, está em funcionamento e agradecer-lhe pela sua companhia.
Agradecer-lhe. The LH is the sound lhe. Okay. Agradecer-lhe pela sua companhia.
And did Paulo, your husband,
Paulo is my husband. Yeah, it is just a message to tell him that the solar system is working. Because my husband is a plumber, electrician, and lots of other things, and so he was very interested in the whole system that Peter has in his marvelous farm.
Yeah, incredible. So abeshta means what? Is that? That's a compliment, is it, to say that?
The beast.
The beast. Oh, okay. Because there is yes, there's another word like that. I don't know if I should say it out loud, but anyway, there you go. Some compliments. It's not every day you get complimented on your solar system, is it? But there's one for the beast. That is Peter Bleach's solar installation, presumably selling energy back to EDP. It's so vast. Hola, bon dia, alegria from Paul and Louise. Unfortunately, their cherries were eaten by the birds, as I think we're going to find out in just a moment. Dr. Ihab, there is a CR7 hotel there too.
Yes, there are CR7 hotels, but the question was why CR7? But we have answered that. Cristiano Ronaldo, and his number is number 7 when he plays. He's always number 7. So
and he was criticized. I think, well, maybe not criticized, but there were some amazing pictures about from his multi-million-pound apartment, and he was still hanging his up on the balcony, right? He hasn't lost.
People always like to criticize everything and everybody, so it's natural when you are famous. It's natural that other people are a bit jealous of. But he is a very, very hardworking boy, and so when he came to the mainland, because he was born in Funchal in Madeira, and he came to the mainland when he was 12 years old. He came on his own without his family, just to follow his dream, to play football. And he came to Sporting Club de Portugal to play and to learn more. He's always eager to learn more. and he wants to be better and better all the time. So I think coming to the mainland when you are 12 on your own, without your father, without your mother, it's a lot. I think.
Yes, he's a credit to the nation, absolutely, isn't he? And the worst thing that people have been able to say about him this week is that he hung up his laundry to dry on the balcony of his multi-million-pound apartment. Crime of the century. Okay, bon dia from Stephen there. And look, is this what happens if you spend 3 days with Filomena? Do you suddenly become fluent in Portuguese? Do you think he? Did he look this up? I've got to find out from you, Pete. I know Filomena is a great teacher. Are you speaking like this now, or did you have to look some of this up? So, Filomena, pode dizer a Carl que a razão por ter detrás de 3 pratos em cada refeição e como são os seus maravilhosos jantares escolares em Portugal. So, are we talking about some of the great hospitality you've had there, I think, in that 3 days?
No, because during that stay, we went to several restaurants, and we like eating, so we had wonderful lunches and dinners all the time, and we ate a lot. We ate quite a lot. Yeah.
Excellent. Pamela Smith, bon dia to you, Pam. How are you doing? How's Alcabasa this morning? Hola, bon dia, and greetings from Perafita. How's Perafita this morning, Peter? There's Peter from Perafita. I wonder if he chose that on purpose. And what other? We did try and write a limerick last night. There once was an old man from Leiria. It didn't end particularly well, and I can't repeat it this morning. But I wonder if there are other people whose names rhyme with where they've ended up living. And it is a place to stay. CR7 Hotel in Madeira. I've been there. All right. I think he prefers reeds for some reason.
Okay.
Bon dia from Joel this morning. Not bothered about football, but I suspect he would be happy if Portugal retain the trophy for the Euros. Our coverage of that continues tonight at 9 o'clock with the Man Cave Juniors, I'm going to call them. The young fellas are talking about football from 9, and the old Giffers are back on at 10 in their usual time. Bon diddle. This is the Yorkshire equivalent. There you go, Carl. My first Portuguese with a Yorkshire accent. Bon diddle, lad. Okay, we're going to go with that. And there's a book in that, I think, how Yorkshire people speak Portuguese. If you want, Paul, while we're here, sometimes Filomena's, always Filomena's an amazing sport. If you have a Portuguese phrase that you would like, sorry, if you have a Yorkshire phrase that you would like Filomena to say with a Portuguese accent, like, well, I'll go to bottom stairs or something like that. Do let us know. Filomena, sorry for your loss, your cousin.
Yeah. But Carl, if you don't mind, today I would like to speak about Portuguese traditions because of the month of June.
Yes, of course. That's what we started talking about. We got distracted again, as usual. Over to you.
If you don't mind, because we usually speak about language, and of course, if there are any questions about language, I'm very pleased to answer if I can. But I would like to start to speak about yesterday, the 10th of June, which was Dia de Portugal, Portugal Day, as you said, and Luís de Camões. So Luís de Camões was, as you said, our Shakespeare. He also he lived in the 16th century, and he died on the 10th of June, 1580. So that's why we celebrate the 10th of June as his day and Portugal Day. So about his life, there are a lot of things that are not for sure. We are not sure where he was born. Maybe in Lisbon, maybe in Coimbra, maybe somewhere else. Maybe he studied at the University of Coimbra. But then, because of a love affair that went wrong, he went to Africa as a soldier, and he lost an eye in a battle. Then he returned to Portugal. Then he went to the Middle East, and he fought with the Portuguese army. And then he wrote Os Lusíadas. Os Lusíadas, well, it's the greatest work that he has written. And it's basically about the Portuguese discoveries, right? The Portuguese discoveries, because, of course, he he lived in the 16th century, and so the Portuguese discoveries were the greatest achievement. They are still the greatest achievement of the Portuguese. You can visit his tomb in the Mosteiro dos Jerónimos, the Jerónimos Monastery in Lisbon. So it's there at the bottom of the church, with Vasco da Gama, also one of the main figures of our discoveries.
So is he the kind of commentator in the way that sort of Samuel Pepys' diaries of London document a great, a time in history? He is the commentator of the discoveries, basically. Then,
yeah. Well, I would like to read you a little bit of Portuguese from the 16th century.
Wow, go on.
So, of course, the way he starts this poem, because it's a huge poem, Os Lusíadas, and I'm just going to just a few lines. I'm going to read for you, okay? So,
yeah.
Luís de Camões. As armas e os barões assinalados que da ocidental praia lusitana, por mares nunca dantes navegados, passaram ainda além da Taprobana. Em perigos e guerras esforçados, mais do que prometia a força humana, e entre gente remota edificaram novo reino que tanto sublimaram. Cantando espalharei por toda a parte, se a tanto me ajudar o engenho e arte. Just this little bit to start the Lusíadas. So, of course, this is a poem, and this is not a language that we would use every day now, but it's basically, as I said, to praise what the Portuguese, not Lusíadas, what the Portuguese did, and so yes, it's hard to understand. Yes, it is. Joel is right. Well, but because the month of June is not just Dia de Portugal, and the day after tomorrow, do you know what we are celebrating the day after tomorrow, Carl?
I'm so embarrassed to say no, but I'm hoping food is involved.
It is.
That's a good guess, isn't it?
Because we are celebrating Dia de Santo António, Saint Anthony's Day.
Yes.
Right? Dia de Santo António. So,
I was going to say sardines. So
yes, sardines. Yes,
I should have been brave. I should have been brave and said that. Yeah.
Sardines. So, Dia de Santo António is celebrated on the 13th of June. In Lisbon, it's a holiday. So it's not a national holiday, but just a holiday in Lisbon. And so he was born in 1195 in Lisbon, and then he died in 1231 on the 13th of June in Padua, in Italy. Right, so that's why sometimes people say Saint Anthony of Lisbon or Saint Anthony of Padua. Right. So because he was born in Lisbon and died in Italy. To celebrate, of course, not this year, but to celebrate Saint Anthony, Santo Antonio, there are huge festivities in Lisbon on the 12th of June in the evening. And there are marchas populares, which I had already asked you before if you knew what are marchas populares, and at the time you didn't know. I don't know if you have already researched, but marchas populares is some parades that are on the main avenue of Lisbon, Avenida da Liberdade. And so each neighborhood organizes a different a parade, and they present that parade, which we call marcha, they present it to the public, and there is a jury then to decide which one is the winner, which one is the best. These marchas populares are done a little bit everywhere throughout the country, and we also do it here in Miranda. And I also participate. I usually participate in those, I can show you some photographs, and I have here because
are you adventurously sharing your screen? Because that is a facility now that all guests can have. Are you able to do that?
well, no, because I just have the photographs in paper.
Oh, okay, it's old school, fantastic.
Old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
But in those marchas populares, we sing and we march, let's say, and we also do a little bit of dancing. While I'm showing a few photographs, I will try to play my recording, because this is also a good advice for you. If you want to learn Portuguese, why not recording a few sentences on your mobile phone and then keep listening to them? Because that's why I recorded this, because 3 years ago when I had to sing this song, I had to learn it by heart, and so I recorded so as it would be easier for me to listen to it every time I was in the car or anywhere. I would just play this and I would learn to sing later when I was on the parade. So let's see if this works. Okay, so
Sure.
Vamos marchar nesta noite em Miranda pelos santos populares ao toque da nossa banda. E vai, não vai, o Santo António a passar, o São João a acabar e o São Pedro que desanda. Olha, vê lá esta linda tradição. Oh e oh ai, com sardinhas no carvão, um copo de vinho da cor do festão e todos os pares com arco e balão. Um copo de vinho da cor do festão e todos os pares com arco e balão. Aqui vamos nós, a casa do povo de todos nós. Aqui vamos nós, a cantar, a dançar para todos vós. Olhem para os arcos, olhem para os nossos balões, olhem para os nossos sorrisos que rebentam corações. E vejam bem, estamos aqui em Miranda, vejam as marchas passar, venham, venham à varanda. Olha, vê lá, esta linda...
Okay.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Those pictures are fantastic.
These are several. These are I always participate. These are from 3 different years. But so we dress up, and as you can see, there is a big group, right?
Yeah.
And children, and children, and also adults. So, as always in Portugal, when we do an activity, when we have an activity, we involve the whole family, the children, the mother and father, grandfather, grandmother, everybody in the community. So it's an event that involves everybody from the community, everybody that wants to participate. So we are in our group because, as I said, each organization or neighborhood organizes a parade. In this case, it's Casa do Povo. There is always a Casa do Povo in every town, and so the House of the People.
Yeah,
and then there are also the villages around Miranda that also prepare a parade, the fire station also, the firemen also. So each group prepares, but we don't compete. We are not dancing for the best one. We are just enjoying ourselves, and lots of people come to town and watch us. And this happens here in Miranda around the 13th of June, not exactly on the 12th as in Lisbon, but it's usually on Saturday after the 10th of June. And of course, this year we are not having anything. And also in Lausanne, for example, which is near here, it's celebrated on the 23rd of June, because the 24th of June is São João, Saint John, right?
Okay.
So we celebrate Saint Anthony on the 13th. We celebrate Saint John on the 24th, and then Saint Peter on the 29th.
Of course.
So there is always a reason to celebrate and to be in the street eating sardines in the little stalls. You can buy the sardines and grill it yourself. So in some occasions you can even grill it, and so you have plenty of wine usually and sardines, and then around this saint celebration, there is also the tradition of the basil, manjerico. You know the basil tradition?
Yes, manjerico.
Yeah. The manjerico, the basil. There is.
The Americans will call that basil, and in UK we call it basil.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's fine. It's just so.
Okay.
I thought you were saying basil, as in like basal temperature.
Okay, basil.
But basil,
Sorry.
yes, basil.
Okay. So the basil, there are two kinds. The eating one, the one you eat, which in Portuguese is manjericão. That is manjericão. And then the other one for decoration is manjerico. And the leaves are a little bit different. As you know, I'm not an expert in agriculture and flowers, but the leaves are a little bit different. And so the manjerico, we usually buy them now in June, and it's a tradition to. It's a tradition to buy a manjerico and give it to your beloved one, so your girlfriend, or you can give it to your boyfriend. And there is always a little flag. I forgot to bring a basil, but there is always a little flag on it with some verses, with a little poem. That people just do that to rhyme. So, for example, I have a few funny ones that I have found. So, for example, it's a small stanza, with 4 verses. So, for example, you can say, no Santo Antônio e no São João, como as sardinhas e deixo o pão.
Very good.
So on Saint Anthony and on Saint John's Day, I eat the sardines and I leave the bread.
I mean, that's a really good, like 4-line summary of June.
So,
really.
Another one, a festa em Portugal são os santos populares, da sardinha ao manjerico, os cheiros andam pelos ares. So these are some that I have found, but you can find plenty of these quadras. We call them quadras populares. Quadras because it's 4 verses, so the number 4, quatro. So quadra is a stanza with 4 verses. Another one is, a 13 temos Santo Antônio, a 24 São João, a 29 São Pedro, tudo com animação.
I didn't get the last one there, but we got the dates of the saints.
Yeah, a 13 temos Santo Antônio, a 24 São João, a 29 São Pedro, tudo com animação.
And everyone gets moving and dancing, and
everything with literally animation, meaning with lots of entertainment, right?
This is These
and
are
and
very good ways of learning.
I have found a new one, which also involves COVID in the lyrics. Ó meu rico Santo António, este ano não te podemos festejar. O chato do Covid-19 veio nos chatear.
I got COVID-19 in there.
Yeah. Yeah, my dear Saint Anthony, this year we cannot celebrate you. The war of COVID-19 came to bother us, so we can't celebrate it. Yeah, so that was.
You can make it very topical. This is great.
You can just you can make a little, and this is a challenge that I dare people to try to make a small stanza with 4 verses and rhyming. So try to practice your Portuguese and rhyme, and you can maybe send it to Carl and
I will read them out. Absolutely. No, I'll read them out because we tried. As I said, we tried to do it last night in honor of Camões, and we tried to do a limerick, but that's not using the 4-line stanza there.
Yeah,
in Portuguese.
Quadros.
I think that would be really good. The quadros for the more advanced Portuguese students. But the other thing you said, Filomena, about learning a song. Now, the song you learned was quite complex there. What would you recommend as a basic song, like a nursery rhyme, for people learning Portuguese, so that we can actually make that? Because you gave us the phrase "Bom dia alegria." So how about you? Would you recommend a Portuguese nursery rhyme that all of us could learn here? I
will have to think about it. Maybe next time I can come up with an idea.
But I think we should take that on as a group here. Because I'm reading Peppa Pig in Portuguese at the moment. I don't think we should be embarrassed about that. And it's once you've got it, this is how children are learning the language, their own language, isn't it? With the basics, so we could do that as well. If you could help us out with that, it'd be awesome.
Yes, I can think about it and see of a simple song that you can practice.
Absolutely, thank you for that, and thank you for all the information about the saints. Go on, you got more for it.
Yes, I always got more. So the sardines, as you said, are the typical. They are the typical food for Sant Antonio and São João. The month of June is the best when the sardines are the best, in the best shape. It's the best month to eat sardines is June. Then in Lisbon, yes, that's right. They are grilled on coal. They are grilled on coal, and so they taste very, very, and they are good for your health. And then also in Lisbon, to celebrate Saint Anthony, the city hall also organizes the weddings of Saint Anthony. Oh, come on, Joel.
Go away, Joel.
Yeah, Joel. So the city hall of Lisbon always organizes the weddings of Saint Anthony. So casamentos de Santo António. People who can't afford to pay a wedding, they apply for this organization to the city hall, and then the city hall chooses the ones that need the most, and they organize marvelous wedding. They all get married together in the church, and then they have also parades sometimes with horses, like a prince and a princess and things like that. And so they have beautiful parades with the brides and the grooms, and it's a big celebration. And the city hall pays for that festivity too. So that is also a big occasion for people, and lots of people get married on the 13th of June. For St. Anthony's Day.
Filomena,
And then
Wouldn't that be an amazing thing for expats to do? And probably they can afford to get married. But can you imagine if that became a thing and you could make a movie about this, right? Movie idea of the day. You know how some people in England, some people run away and get married in a place called Gretna Green. I think that's to do it without their parents' permission. Then some other people run away to Las Vegas and get married by an Elvis impersonator. But if there was a movie of a couple of Brits or Americans who kind of come to Portugal and get married in that mass marriage situation.
Yeah, you have to watch it on YouTube. You look it up on YouTube, Casamento de Santo António, St. Anthony's wedding, and you will see massive festivities.
And you make friends for life, presumably, with the other couples.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Amazing.
And then in Porto, because speaking about the two major cities, Lisbon and Porto. In Porto, you and also Braga, but in Porto, you celebrate São João, St. John, on the 24th of June. So the festivities are, as usual, on the previous evening. So the 23rd in the evening. And in Porto, you have different traditions also. So apart from eating the sardines, yes, but you have a tradition that is hammering people with a plastic hammer on their head. Yes.
What? Come on, that's not right. What's that about?
But the plastic hammer originally was not a plastic hammer. This was introduced in the... It was not a true hammer either.
I know what happened here.
This plastic hammer it was introduced in the 70s. But before that, it was a leek, you know? Alho porro, so a leek. Yeah. And you would take a leek from your vegetable garden, and you use the leek to bang people's head. And why the leek? Because according to what they say, it's a phallic symbol of male fertility. So it's just for good luck, right?
Who wouldn't want to be? Who in their right mind wouldn't want to be tapped on the head by a male fertility symbol? I mean, some people pay a lot of money for that at the weekend, so you could do it free in Portugal at this time of year.
Yes, and in Porto, I've been in Porto, and you get a headache after being hammered a few times, because people really enjoy doing that. They get the hammer and they bang you on your head, and so if you go calmly on the street and then you get a hammer there and a hammer there, and all of a sudden, oh my God, it's a headache.
You can honestly say on that occasion, no, not tonight, I've got a headache. Put your fertility symbol away. Put your fertility symbol back in the veg pack, because that is not coming anywhere near me. I've got a terrible headache now after all of that.
Yeah, but well, at least I got it. I got a headache with all the banging of the hammer. But
people, what are you like?
But there is also a lovely tradition of the hot air balloons. The little hot air balloons. You buy a balloon and then you fire, you light the balloon, and then you watch the balloon. It's paper. They are paper balloons, right? So you just watch them flying away. Sometimes you are not so lucky and you burn. Burn your balloon and it doesn't fly. But it needs a little bit of practice for you to get the art of putting fire to the balloon and let it go. But it's a very nice tradition because they are paper balloons. So and then they go on the air, and you just watch it. And then there is the big firework at midnight. Hammered by a hammer, yes.
So is that a pet name for the male member in Portugal, a hammer? Because I've not heard that before. Andrea Rola Vieira. The things you learn on this show. Okay, thank you very much, Andrea, for that. But at least the leak didn't make that annoying sound. So you got squeaky.
No, yeah, because the hammer, the hammer, yes, has a.
Yes.
yeah, that's right. And so, but luckily it's plastic, so It's not iron.
Filomena,
But
June is turning into quite a month in Portugal, isn't it? So let me get this right.
June is definitely the month for festivities in Portugal.
Yeah, where you can eat sardines, you can
Drink wine,
become a poet, give basil, manjerico
basil.
to your loved ones. You can get married with a lot of other people.
You can get hammered on your head.
You get hammered on the head with a facility symbol, either plastic or organic. For people who prefer organic, they should use a leek, right?
Yes, they should use a leek.
And is that okay? Is that okay to still use the traditional leek?
Yes, people still use it. Yeah, alho porro.
Okay.
The alho porro.
Okay. You can get a bit of soil and smell of leek.
Yeah, well, you get the smell, but yeah.
I know what you've been up to, coming back here smelling of leek and covered in soil. Wow, what a month! So everyone's really tired by July. Then that's why it goes.
Yeah, that's why I would like to tell people about this, because this is the month of the festivities, right?
Craziness, yeah, absolutely. That is fantastic. Absolutely brilliant introduction to the festivities of Portugal, and it's the rhythm of Portugal as well, isn't it? Because let's face it, it's been a difficult year, and in this time of coming into spring and summer, you feel it's a little bit colder, a little bit cooler, a little bit of rainy this year. It's been quite, I think it's been cooler and wetter than other years, but you really feel the rhythm of Portuguese life kicking in now, right? With the beauty of these festivities.
Yeah. And when we end up with St. Peter on the 29th, it's St. Peter. So another festivity, for example, in Póvoa de Varzim, I know that Póvoa de Varzim, Évora, and other places. So this is not just in Lisbon and Porto. As I said, these are the two main cities, but we celebrate all over the country.
Incredible. Right, let's catch up with how people are responding and what promises they're going to make about learning the language here, whether it's going to be writing poetry, whether it's going to be learning a nursery rhyme. Let's find out what's going on. Oh, cherries. We're talking about cherries. The birds ate all of Paul and Louise's cherries. We only have one tree. Good. So they're feeding the birds there.
Well, it happens exactly the same with my tree. I just have one tree and I didn't eat one single cherry. The birds got them all.
Okay. Birds love you, though. The birds love you. Did you get to sit in the big chair, asked Gary, and did you meet Joseph and his lovely family when you were in Fundão?
I did, and I'll tell you what. In the big chair, Peter's big chair, well, a friend of mine pushed me, and I've got my jeans torn.
No. Dear. Carry on, Fundão.
Yeah, but I also met Joseph and his lovely family. Yes, actually the picture that you have shown, picking the cherries, was at Joseph's farm.
Superb. A shout out to the marshes this morning. Fantastic. Okay, so and that particular tourist attraction there, marvel of aquatic engineering, called Val dos Conchos. Over there, Serra da Estrela. Besta, going back, can also be translated to crossbow. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Some people in Castelo Branco region do invest in crossbows, so they like a bit of javali every now and then. Good morning from Gaeiras this morning near Obidos from Jacqueline Branco. At this point, I have to say thank you, Jacqueline Branco. Jacqueline CDM also sent in some pictures, which I forgot to put in. Here they are. She's out on her morning walk. This is also around the same area of Gaeiras, Castelo Branco, Silver Coast. Sorry, not Caldas de Rainha, not Castelo Branco, forgive me. And those are look at that. Isn't that a beautiful morning on the Silver Coast there? Absolutely beautiful. Thank you very much for those for the other Jacqueline. But good morning to you, Jacqueline Branco in Gaeiras. Very close to Obidos, amazing part of Portugal as well. Nothing like hanging the laundry to dry in the sun. Absolutely, it's a proper thing to do. That old school and sustainable technology, the sun and the wind. Good morning from Dominique Cor. Such a Portuguese thing to do, hanging the laundry to dry in the sun. Absolutely.
Yes, obvious. It's obvious. I mean, if we have a lot of sun, why spending energy in a dryer, right?
Exactly. Come on, people. You know what to do. Nublado como em Costóias. What's he talking about there?
Cloudy.
It's cloudy in the Perafita area. I got you. So nublado. Okay, that's good to know.
Nublado, cloudy.
Yep, a good when there's an eclipse like there was yesterday, and you can get to see it. I've seen amazing photos of that. Yep, Portuguese people are endorsing Ronaldo CR7's methods here. Yep, using the sun energy to dry the laundry. It's free.
It's the best. It's the best. You don't spend energy, and it's the best to do.
Okay, here's some Yorkshire for you. Would you like to
no.
go with that?
No.
No, she's not doing it this morning. Sorry, Carla. I'll go. I'll have a go. Iba gumside is what how that I think should be said. Sorry, Carla, for a minute. It was a little lost in translation. I was going to ask Filomena to tell you why everyone has. Oh yes, why does everybody have 3 courses here? We're not complaining, but it's such a fantastic tradition. Is there a cultural importance to having three courses at every meal?
No, of course. What can I say? People eat differently, but yes, usually you start traditionally with a soup. If you follow the tradition, you start with a soup, and then you have the main dish. Of course. If you are celebrating something, it's not just one main dish, it's a few, but at least one main dish. And then, because Portuguese love desserts, so we usually have a dessert, either fruit or usually a sweet. As you said the other day, 13 doses de doce, right?
Yes,
No, it was 12 doses de doce, right? 12 doses de doce. So, yes, Portuguese are very fond of sweets, and so we have arroz doce, for example.
Oh yeah.
And lots of other things. So, yes, we are fond of eating, and we don't have a sandwich for lunch. No,
that's right. All you people who eat sandwiches for lunches, just stop it, okay? Get with the Portuguese program. You don't have to sit at your computer and eat a sandwich in 2 minutes and maybe a bag of crisps if you're celebrating. Get with the program. 3 courses and finish with a nice chocolate mousse and a coffee, of course.
And talking about chocolate mousse, Peter, he has tried for 3 or 4 times to have a chocolate mousse, and they were run out. They had run out of chocolate mousse, and then finally he got one. So I think he was pleased. Finally, got a chocolate mousse.
He's talking about turkey Twizzlers there for some reason as well. But yeah, maybe he was dipping his turkey Twizzler in the chocolate mousse. Funny Brits coming over here with their strange habits. The Lucianas, this has been traumatic for some of the Portuguese.
Yes, because you have to study at school. Yeah. When you are at school, you have to study with Camões as other poets and writers. So, of course, if you are 14, it's a bit traumatic for you to learn the 16th century and even before. But you have to study the literature, the Portuguese literature, yes.
Okay, and so we got off lightly, I think, this morning, to be fair. Caroline, hola, bom dia, hasta luego. Filomena, estou aí à escola 14 horas.
Sim, até logo.
There you go. And they're trying to get you to say other things. This is in the Black Country, not Brummie. This point, he might have bothered.
Well, I've been in the Black Country. I've been there, but I haven't learned the pronunciation.
That's how Shakespeare really used to talk, like that. Yeah, I know he was all posh when he was writing stuff, but that's how he actually used to speak, man to man. Peter and Caroline, obviously friends there. He's a great guy. Filomena's got a CR7 t-shirt on. Saw him in Dubai. He is down to earth, isn't he? And Stephen wants you to teach me the dance that you learned. I thought your outfits were
Well, I'm inviting you, Carl, next year. Please join us in the dancing, okay?
Oh, okay, I'm up for it. When is market day in Miranda de Corvo, please, Filomena?
On Wednesday morning. Wednesday morning.
And are you going to see this vehicle still there?
No, because that is for the film. That was used for the film. That is a picture of mine that I took when a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. There was a film produced here. They filmed here in Miranda, and because it's a film about the 30s and 40s in Portugal, they got this bus belongs to the RTP, to the national TV channel, RTP. So they brought this vehicle for the recordings. Yeah, it's a very nice one.
Very beautiful indeed. I think Joel will have enjoyed and appreciated
and
that.
You can see the film. I'll let you know, Carl, when the film is on TV.
Filmed in Miranda de Corvo. There you go. That was a massacre when I was a kid. Going back to Joel for a minute, my old man took me to the Fisherman Festa in Matosinhos. I hated it, walking for miles in the harbour, dodging seagulls, bombarding you. Sardines there. A great idea from Stephen. Start a thread for your poetry on the expatsportugal.com forum. Great idea, Stephen. Would you like to lead the charge on that? That'd be brilliant. And here's the first effort. Roses are red, violets are blue, and Carl sucks at Portuguese too. We used to be friends.
But the rhymes they have to be in Portuguese, Joel, not in English.
Absolutely.
In Portuguese.
Yes, absolutely right. Lisbon City Hall. Now that'll be a hot topic for the Man Cave today. What's happening there then? Is that where that man's on hunger strike? Is that what he's referring to?
Well, Joel, I don't know, because he is from the north, so probably he's not happy about this Lisbon City Hall. I don't know.
Yeah, I've noticed this about some of the people from the north. They are a little bit more serious, aren't they?
There is a rivalry. Yes, there is a bit of they are always rivals, Lisbon and Porto, and
But we'll find out what he's talking about from 10 tonight. Sajwa, that was fun when I was a kid. We couldn't aim for the head. So naughty boy. Nice show, says GB. Been here in Portugal since the 8th of May, leaving back to the USA today. We'll be back by end of September for a longer stay. Abraço. Igualmente to you, GB.
Un abraço.
To have your company. Elra, at least the leak didn't make that annoying sound. Absolutely, yes. I know.
But it left the smell, right?
Yeah, swings and roundabouts. In Birmingham, we have a very special and spiritual place for football. It's called St. Andrews. Yes, every Saturday, a Saints' Day. Literally hammered by... No, I can't keep saying that. Thank you, obrigado from GB. Let's have a look. Let me see. Where are we now? Are these festas actually happening this year? Says,
no,
okay, so
they aren't. No, they aren't. No.
All right.
At least not as they used to.
Yes.
No. Alho porro, yes.
That's could get you in some trouble, couldn't it? Saying that word. How you say that, everybody? Just a word of warning. I made my own hydrogen balloon once and then set fire to it. The smell of burnt eyebrows was very heavy on the. Some people.
You need a bit of practice, as I said.
I mean, basically, he shouldn't be left unsupervised. All sorts of problems happen. Linda, sort him out. That's even. What's this? Saints of the Matosinhos.
Senhora de Matosinhos.
Okay, even bigger than the popular Saints Day. So yeah, obviously locally people have their own specific and
but not this year.
Okay. Good morning, guys, from Sintra this morning. Hey, Drubo, how are you doing? How are you and your lovely family? Sad that there's none of the usual festivals. Let's hope it's all possible. Absolutely, fingers crossed for that. What is the Portuguese phrase for fingers crossed or hoping so? What would we say?
Well, we have the Arab Oxalá. That's the influence of the Muslims in Portugal. Oxalá. So Oxalá is literally with the name Hala in it, right? So Oxalá. So we also have that word, Oxalá.
Oxalá, fantastic. Elra saying, not to worry, festivities will come with a vengeance soon. I think that's right, because people are feeling very low and obviously set back by the world situation. When the parties come back, people will party harder than they normally do, which is saying something. We're engulfed with low cloud and mist in Celanova, as we have been since the end of May. In California, the same thing happens, and they call it June gloom. Interesting. Didn't know about that particular weather quirk there. Bon dia from Coleraine in Northern Ireland. Love the channel. Actually, somebody sent me some video of claiming this was the centre of Ireland, and this is what the rain was like the other day. This is Mullingar. I don't know. I tell you what, I'm just shuddering watching that. They want to be in Portugal, and you can understand why, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Just okay. Just don't make up a Portuguese like what Ramsey did while he was here in Portugal recording his show. That look it up, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
I mean, he made a British breakfast with Portuguese products, but it's not the typical Portuguese breakfast for sure.
No, but I tell you what, there's a particular kind of prosciutto that fries up beautifully like bacon. That's a big favorite in this household. Okay, some talk about Chef Ramsey's escapades
Yes.
here. He's a rascal, isn't he?
No.
And okay, traditional Portuguese breakfast thing. Yes, he got roasted on Twitter. Quite right too. He gives it out. He's got to accept it, I think, from time to time as well. Lovely, Andy saying, reminder of all the festivities. Thank you, Filomena. Can't wait till things get back to normal. Love from Andy there via Austin. What are you calling the leek, Filomena? I thought it was called alho francês. Some people do call it the alho francês, don't they?
Yes, yes. Or alho porro. Alho porro is the let's say traditional old name, alho porro.
Okay, and then a French leek or a French garlic, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah. Alho meaning garlic, yeah.
There you go, Donna. Lusitano horses are gorgeous animals. I think I've missed a bit out there, but yes, absolutely. Oh, okay. Another question here, Filomena. Why are lucky horseshoes upside down in Portugal? Good question.
Upside down?
Yeah. Or maybe you've never seen them. Maybe that's a particular household.
I don't know. I mean, I have never seen a horseshoe upside down in Portugal. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So not sure about that one, but generally it's thought to be bad luck, isn't it? If you put it upside down, it empties the luck out of the horseshoe. Oshala comes from as Filomena said there, but nice to see it written down on the screen. Thank you very much for that, and a reminder of all the Arab-inspired words in Portugal. Amazing. Algarve, algebra, whatever.
Everything that starts with al, is from the Arab.
Yep, including my father-in-law, Alan. Just putting away my umbrella. It was that you, William, who sent me the video. Thank you so much for that. Sorry if I didn't tie that up correctly, because sometimes I don't see the names on WhatsApp, but forgive me. That was your video, was it, William? Superb. Well, the animals had something to do with the humans, while the humans wasted time fighting. I don't know what that is. Is that something to do with the horses again there? And also, yes, Andrea saying, we also say Sedush.
Yeah, se Deus quiser. God willing, yes.
How lovely this morning to conclude on that note, apart from whatever it is you want to add, Filomena, and set us for homework possibly as well. So over to you for a final word. Thank you so much again for such an entertaining morning.
Yeah, I have already given you the challenge of doing a small stanza in Portuguese, right? For those who are not fluent enough to do that, they can always look for little things on a basil, and
I have seen that in the past. The little flags in the basil, or the mystery is explained, and other mysteries will be explained here.
Because this is the message you want to pass to the person you give the basil, and so you write it. And I made these in 2019.
Okay.
These in 2019 for my Portuguese students, and but actually I forgot to buy my basil yesterday, but you can buy them everywhere.
You can. What a fragrant time of year. Sardines, basil.
And I remember now, speaking about the basil, there is something you have to know. You can't smell the basil with your nose.
No.
People say that if you smell it directly, you will kill it. It will be dead in no time. So what you do, you put your hand over, right, the basil, and then you smell your hand. But you don't smell it with your nose, they say, because then it dies. So I wouldn't risk it.
That's such a cosmic. That's a sort of conversation you might have at 2 a.m. drinking too much Portuguese wine. It's like, Can you imagine what it's like for the basil? I mean, it's all very well us human beings going up to things and sniffing them, but when we do, they have to smell us as well, don't they? So I wonder what that's like. And there you go for the basil plant, which is notoriously.
You just put your hand on the basil, and then you smell your hand, but don't smell it directly. No, don't sniff it. No,
and don't do that to strangers either. Just as a little.
well, but also don't do that.
Please don't do that.
Don't do that.
So there you go. Oh, it's
You may hammer them, but
you're allowed to smack them on the head with a leek at certain times.
Yeah.
But please don't be stroking them and then smelling your hand. That'll be weird, really weird. You pet the Angelico to smell it. You don't sniff it directly. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, we've learned so much this morning. If you want to learn directly from the boss here, from Filomena, tripsforbrits@gmail.com. She teaches Portuguese, as you can see.
And culture. Portuguese and culture.
With fun, and like you'll learn stuff you never knew you were going to discover. Filomena, a bom fim de semana to you.
Bom fim de semana e até ao próximo mês.
Sim, perfeito. And muito obrigado.
De nada.
Okay, and the same to everybody, igualmente.
Beijinhos a todos. Beijinhos a todos.
We will see you soon. We'll see you tonight for some footy coverage. We're covering the Euros 2020/21, of course, because it's been moved forward. We can see who Filomena will be supporting, and we'll be doing the forward analysis because there's not that much to talk about yet. But the team will be on that at 9, and then the traditional Giffer Man Cave at 10, and of course back on Monday morning with Gilda Pereira, the incredibly popular Gilda Pereira, talking about visas. We will see you then. Have a superb weekend as you're getting fit and ready for Festa, as you're getting Festa fit for this special time of year. Filomena, thanks again. Take care and bye for now. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.